people think that it's like okay, let's say Sharon is just Sharon, right? And Zemo is just Zemo because they had a theory on here talking about Zemo was the power broker, right? That could be it. We'll come back to that one. But who else could be the power broker? So they're kind of listing some people here. So they said Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2. What's your thoughts on that one?
Justin Hammer, I really don't think he's it. His department's more of like mechanics and stuff like that. And he's always wanted to be like the number one in armory and tech and stuff like that. But of course, that was always Tony Stark. But now that Tony Stark's kind of out of the way and stuff like that, Justin Hammer, I could see Justin Hammer coming in like the Armored War series with Don Cheadle. I don't see him in this series.
I mean, it could be some type of kind of him leading up into it, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe that's how the Armor Wars. He's the power broker. He masses a lot of power. I'm not sure, but I guess that was one of them here, and another one here is Everett Ross, or General Thunderbolt Ross. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, this one I could see more because, he always had beef with Captain America, but, like, he has a Captain America on his side now. But I could see him wanting his super soldiers on his, like, more Captain Americas on his team and stuff like that. And ones that he can control.
So, another thing, too, they're talking about here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump off of the Thunderbolt Ross thing. I don't think he's it, because let's just think about this logically. So Thunderbolt Ross has literally everything he's done. It's just for the U.S. Now he is incredibly a terrible person. Like he's the guy who's, I'm gonna get the job done by any means necessary. Not the best thing. Pretty much just a butthole. Pretty much, you know what I mean? Literally a butthole. So that, I think, but at the same time, his motives are good. I think his motives are good. He just takes the wrong way to approach it. So I don't think he's necessarily, the power broker, because he's a good guy, just a butthole. So
basically, Director Hayward.
Pretty much, but more extreme since he's like Secretary of State now. So
yeah.
But we have so the next person they say, which this is really, really, really pushing it. But you remember the leader that they showed in the Hulk series, the Hulk movie? Remember the leader in there?
No, I don't.
So basically, there was the scientist who basically created the abomination in the lab that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
He basically, it shows kind of like mid-credit scene where he basically, not mid-credit scene, it was actually in the movie where he got hit by some of the gamma radiations and his brain starts to kind of morph and get bigger and stuff like that, right? And so, people, if they had made another movie, they were saying the leader was going to be a big part of it, and he was going to be the leader. He was Mr. Blue in that, I think. That's what they called him when he was texting back and forth with Bruce Banner. You'll have to watch the movie back, but yeah, they called him Mr. Blue. So people think that he could be the power broker since he's a genius, That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting, but like you said, it's a bit far-fetched.
A bit far-fetched. I could see it, but at the same time, Now, another one that I hope is it. I hope this one theory is correct. So the theory is basically Latveria and Victor Von Doom exist, right? Come along with me. So they think that Victor Von Doom could be the power broker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so here's what the article says. It says, we only bring up his name because A, that Fantastic Four are coming to the MCU at some point, and B, what's actually going to become Sokovia. Zemo made a point to reference how his homeland had basically been swallowed up by other countries surrounding it. So what if a new country was created in its place, and that country is Latveria, homeland of the FF villain Doctor Doom? So it's a pretty cool idea. I like it. I hope it's correct. I really hope it's correct. I mean, I know a lot of people don't understand where I'm coming from this one, but Victor Von Doom is probably one of Marvel's best villains, or yeah, somewhat villains, right? Because literally in Marvel Comics, people know don't go to Latveria. Like, don't mess with Latveria. They know if they go over there, they might as well be like, it's either suicide or it's gonna be tough getting out of there. It's basically it's almost Mandarin-esque to the point where, think about a really bad guy and think about if that bad guy had an entire country on his side and had advanced technology, and he was a genius at the same time, and he had somewhat powers, right? So I don't know, but I hope that he is the power broker, because he has a lot of stuff there, because one of the reasons why what motivates him is because of his mom dying. That's what kind of got him into the whole. He did get into a magical realm at one point because his mom died, and he was trying to bring her back, and that was a whole issue right there. Which it's an ongoing thing for him, that he really loved his mother, but that's really what sent him down this dark path of being a villain as well. But I hope they bring Doctor Doom like that, and in this TV show, make him the power broker. You don't have to have the cape or anything like that. You could just have him before he becomes Doctor Doom. Maybe even throw a reference in there, be like, Doom. I like that.
My kind of issue, I guess, with that is, why would he need the super soldier serum?
I mean, he's trying to take over a country. He's trying to make a country. He has to probably doing it by CD activity. I could see they rewrite his background and say he is from Sokovia, and that he's trying to take back Sokovia himself.
I guess. I don't know. But isn't it kind of like you said that Kevin Feige didn't plan for Doom and all that, and for the X-Men?
What you say?
I was saying, isn't it kind of like what you said, how Kevin Feige didn't plan for the X-Men and all that? Isn't it the same with the Fantastic Four?
Not necessarily, though. So people think that the Fantastic Four, I think the Fantastic Four have a better chance of being referenced in any of the stuff happening with this MCU than the X-Men. I personally think that I don't think Kevin Feige has even thought about X-Men at all. I think he's going to establish the Fantastic Four, and then by means of the Fantastic Four, he establishes the X-Men. I think we won't see the X-Men for probably 6 to 7 years.
Really?
We won't hear anything. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that long. But, I mean, I can see why, per se, you make the Fantastic Four before the X-Men. It's because, because there's only 4 of them, really. And, X-Men, there's, so many of them. Yeah. That's one reason. Second reason, because you have to have... where does Reed Richards rank as far as, the smartest person in the Marvel Universe? He's, one of the smartest persons.
So it's a weird kind of calculation of it. He is the smartest person. But people will look at Tony Stark as the best actual mechanical engineer. But overall, like they like to say these different people specialize in different fields. But overall, collectively, he is the smartest at, each thing. He could, all categories combined, he's smarter than everybody else, basically. So another thing I think the problem with it is how do you explain that the X-Men are in the MCU without making it to where, the X-Men are just one team? How do they explain that, the X gene and stuff like that? That's pretty hard to do, I think, at this point.
I don't know if it'd be pretty hard to do. I don't know. I don't know how they would go with the story and all that for the X-Men. I personally, I don't think it's going to take 6-7 years for them to introduce them.
I think so.
For introduction, at least, for them to be like cameoed or something like that. Like, not for a movie, I'm saying, but like for them to have like a cameo scene or to be mentioned or something like that. I think 3 or 4 years.
The reason I don't think I don't think 3 or 4 years. That's a stretch, honestly. I think the only person who's going to reference him is probably Deadpool, and that's about it.
Yeah. When are we getting our Deadpool movie?
I don't know. I have no idea. So here's another question I know you'll like, Mister. I think the mutants will be in here in 3 to 4 years. Do you think the super soldier serum will lead to mutants?
No. I don't think so. Mutants are more, they already had their genes and stuff like that. Whereas this one, they kind of inject steroids. So, I don't see it.
I got you. And I think this is going to be our final question for the day. Are Zemo's jacket, mask, and his gold gun family heirlooms?
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah. You said his mask?
Yeah, his mask and his gold gun, the gun he uses.
Yeah, I think so. And I was listening to something about that. I think they said something about the mask. It's passed down from like generation to generation, or from like how do you say? Because it's Zemo, not Zemo, but like Baron. I think they said is more of like a title and stuff like that, and it's passed down by generation.
Yeah, Baron kind of goes for like royalty, basically. That's why they call him Baron Zemo, like in the comics, because he's rich and stuff like that. And that's why people said he went from Zemo to Baron Zemo now. Yeah. So
I could see where he got all of his stuff and everything. It's a bunch of family.
Well, people think So it's a big thing now. People think that they retconned Zemo, which if you go back, they didn't necessarily say he was poor, but they did say it was kind of implied because Sokovia altogether was pretty poor. But it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like they technically per se didn't say he was, but like they implied it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
They implied he wasn't rich, but like they didn't. If he was, I do think they kind of retconned too, because of even if you don't say he's not rich, like though he's pretty wealthy now. Like if you're looking at what he's doing, he's Batman tier right now. Like the dude's got a private jet and got an Alfred in there, got enough for suits and everything. They can go where they want to go. He's got friends everywhere. The guy's kind of loaded.
But I feel like at the same time, it kind of makes more sense for Civil War. How he was able to do all these things and get to all these places and stuff like that.
And he didn't have a 9 to 5. to pay for all the stuff.
Yeah, bro. Like,